Hello, I'm Kelly and welcome to my Flosstube channel, Animal Instinct. It's time for my 2025 mid-year WIP Parade. Today is Sunday the 13th of July 2025. Thank you so much for watching today. I hope you're not WIP Paraded out. Thank you to all of my existing subscribers and welcome if you're new. It's a great time of year to find new Flosstubers to watch. I really hope you like the projects that I'm working on, and if you'd like to see more, I'd love it if you would subscribe to my channel. So really quick introduction if you are new. As I said, my name is Kelly. I live in Adelaide, which is in South Australia. What else? I am a veterinarian, hence the channel name. I am very occasionally on Instagram as AnnaStitch, so slightly different name. Sorry, it's a little bit confusing. What else? I stitch on a wide variety of cross-stitch projects. I don't think I have a particular style, though if you've been watching me for a while and think that I do, let me know because I'd be interested. But I'll stitch anything that calls to me really. I have a couple of cats. They may or may not make an appearance. They've actually just had a holiday and they've just come home today, so they're a bit out of sorts, one in particular. So I have Reggie, who's the younger, naughtier one, and he may show up, we'll see. And I also have much older female Jemima, and I know she's snoozing at the moment. So they were on having a little holiday while I was away for work for the past week. And I'll just mention that quickly here. I've been in the Philippines for a week and I just got back last night. The trip home was much longer than planned due to delayed flights and missed connections and all that sort of fun stuff. So I got home quite late and I'm pretty tired. So if I'm a little bit all over the shop today, that is why. But I was really keen to get this filmed this weekend. So let's get into it. I've been doing mid-year WIP parades for quite a few years now, and I'm just going to stick to my usual structure, I guess. So I'm going to show you the finishes I've had since my last WIP parade. I think that was early December. I normally do my end of year WIP parades at the very end of the year, but I was having a fantastic holiday then, so I filmed it a little bit earlier. So I've got my finishes since then. All of my existing projects, my WIPs, works in progress that I've worked on since then. So I guess it's been about 7 months. And then new starts. And in terms of numbers, I only have 4 finishes today. I have 21 existing projects that I've already worked on and plenty more that I haven't touched yet. But they'll all come out at my end of year WIP parade. And then I actually have 15 or maybe 16 new starts. I think it's 16. So 4 finishes and 16 new starts. Whoops. And I'm not keeping track of all of my stitching but of the stitches I have counted. This year I'm up to around about 145,000. So really happy with that. Let's jump into the finishes. Like I said, there's only 4, so not too many to show. I also didn't keep great records sort of at the start of the year, so I don't have all the right numbers and things like that. I also haven't written down start dates and things like that today, so you're just going to see the stitching, which I think will be fine. So my very first finish was back in December, and I stitched this very cute little what's it called? Sweet sheep from Mill Hill. Started and finished. So cute. Christmas themed sheep. So I bought this from the Nimble Thimble in Wales, and I got it on a really fun stitchy day out with Jo from Belushi Stitches and Emma from Emma X Stitching. So that was where I was in December, went on holidays to England, and we met Emma up closer to where she lives, and then she kindly drove us down to Nimble Thimble and also Create Nostalgia, where I spent quite a bit of money shopping. And I really liked seeing the sheep as we drove through Wales. So I had to get some sheep themed projects, and I started and finished this one over the next few days, I think it was, when I was at Joe's, I was a bit sick and spent a few days on the couch and got it done. Perfect. I haven't put anything on the back yet. I guess I need to do that at some point and decide how I'd like to display it. I also don't iron very often, so there's lots of wrinkled projects today. Next one is the Mermaid of Salem Bay by the Primitive Hare. This one I started, I think, for a Mermania maybe in 2023, I think, can't quite remember. And Jo, who I stayed with in England, she had finished hers. I hadn't quite finished mine when I visited, and I'd messed up the face, so I wanted to have a look at her stitched face and how she'd done the beading. And that was really helpful. Came home from my trip and pretty much finished it straight away. So this is the Mermaid of Salem Bay. It's on 32 count linen called Pirates from the Primitive Hare. And it's stitched 2/2 with the cold 4 threads. And you can see some of the beads too. It's quite lovely. That's Reggie. He's quite chatty today. He just wants to be with me. Poor little guy. Hang on. Come on, say hello. What's going on with your eyeballs, eh? Here he is. Very, very happy to be here. Good boy. Oh, where was I? And the face that I fixed up. Yeah. Still think it's slightly odd, but it's fine. All done. And I love that printed ship down there. It's printed on the fabric. So this is printed. It's just plain on the back. So finish number 2 for this year. Excuse me, mate. The next one is one that I started in England. Now this one, Emma had already started it, and Jo and I were planning to start it actually on that day out shopping. We'd factored in some time to do some stitching together, the 3 of us, and we just didn't get to that. There was no stitching to be had that day. It was driving or shopping. But I did start it, I think Jo and I started it a few days after the shopping expedition. And then I worked on it. I remember I worked on it on the plane coming home, and then I finished it in the first few days of being home. This is, forgotten what it's called, Jurassic Perk, perhaps, and it's by Silver Creek Samplers. And it's very cute. So this is a piece of 40 count linen from number 12 Stitch Co, and it's called Mossy Pot. It's stitched 1/2 with the cold 4 DMC, except for the blue text. And I did change that. I don't recall what to. I think Emma had changed it as well. I think we possibly used the same blue. But I just love him. He's so cute. Look at it. And I have enough fabric left of this piece, heaps, to do the kind of companion piece, which is T-Rex, so T-E-A Rex, something like that. So I need to get that pattern and stitch that sometime. I love that. I think it's very, very cute. Okay, my last finish was an older full coverage piece that I had. Again, I don't have dates, but I think I started it at the very end of 2020. And it's called Sunny Beach by AnnaStitch. I think I have before photos for all but one of my projects today, so hopefully I've popped in a before photo. I did a lot on this piece this year. I just really enjoyed stitching it. I picked it up again soon after I got home from a holiday. It was in summer here. It was very hot, and this piece is a very summery piece. All up, I did spend 29 days, so a day could be anything from half an hour to 6 hours, who knows, on this piece. And I've actually added 20,416 stitches to it to finish it. And Reggie's decided to sit on it. Good boy. You keep grooming yourself, just not on my stitching. This is on a piece of 16 count Ada. It is washed and it needs an iron. Oops. And I just think it's beautiful. Look at it, so nice. Look at that sky. And because it's not a large full coverage, she uses some really simple back stitch just to bring that boat in the foreground into focus, and very, very cleverly done. So that's it, I'm pretty sure. Hopefully I'm not missing any for my finishes. Not so many so far. Okay, so now to get myself organised, have piles everywhere, precariously perched. Let's move into my the projects I've worked on since my last WIP Parade that were already existing projects. So my WIPs. These are roughly in the order that I stitched them. They're not in, like when I film at the end of the year, they'll be in order of start date, but this is kind of order I stitched them in, I think. Again, my records are a bit iffy this year. So first up is The Secret Grove. This was a mystery stitch along by Needlelot Designs, and I think I started it after it had already started, and it's well and truly finished by now. I think this made it into my WIP Parade last year, end of year WIP Parade, so hopefully I've got a photo of where I was. This year I've done another 15 days on it and added 8,100 stitches. And this is where it is now. So it's on a piece of 32 count Lugana that I dyed with indigo rip dye. And it's stitched, sorry, it looked like there's a mark up the top here, but it's just a fold. It's stitched 2 over 2 with all the called for colours, except I have added just a few little touches of metallics, like the key. So I still have a way to go. Once the whole pattern was released, she did release another motif like underneath. I don't know if I'll have room to stitch that on here, but it was really cute. I can't remember what it is off the top of my head, but if I have enough room, I'll add that in too. That's been a really nice one to stitch. Really nice colours and use of colour. So that should come out again soon, I hope. And then the next one is another stitch along. This is from Lola Cross Stitch, and it's Greenhouse of Oddities. I'll have a photo of where I was last time. And I'm stitching this as a stitch along with Emma X Stitching and Jo Belushi Stitches and others. This is from Lola Crow's 2023 Mystery Stitch Along. And I had stitched, I think I'd finished the frame. Yeah, and I'd messed up with the frame when I was initially stitching it, so I went into timeout. But I fixed that up, and now just trying to keep up and stitch one sort of release a month. And I'm yet to do the July release. I have been a month ahead all year, and yeah, I need to get back on top of it. So this is where it's up to. Looking fab. This is a piece of 32 count linen, again from number 12 Stitch Co, and it's in French pear. I'm gonna get, what have I done this year? I know I've done, I think this tree was the last one. She is painting what she can see, which is here. And we have the really neat pitcher plant and the Rafflesia, I don't think I'm saying that correctly, and Venus flytrap. And I think the next Oh, I think the next one that I need to stitch is in here, but I can't quite recall. I have worked on this one for 11 days this year and I've added 6,850 stitches, so that's pretty good. Still a fair way to go though. Right, next one. This is my largest full coverage piece, my largest piece in general. Okay, so this is Firefly. Based on artwork by J. Parks, and it's charted and kitted by Gecko Rouge. This is one of my oldest projects. I started back in 2019. And I've worked on 3 different areas this year. So I started off working on some of the background in the top left corner. I then came in and finished this cat. I'd done like her face, I think. And then I've come back up here and I'm filling in background up here. So far this year, I've worked on it for 98 days and I've added 47,612 stitches. And big milestone for this one, I've reached 33.33%. That's where I'm currently at. So I am a third of the way done. And hopefully, I haven't actually checked, but hopefully I've got some photos of where it was in the WIP Parade. And I'll show you the different areas that I've worked on from memory. I think this is right. So I started, this is on 25 count Lugana, and the cats I'm doing 1/1 full cross. The background is 2/1 tent stitch. So started in this, doing some more in this top left corner. Then I came down and finished this cat here called River. So this is based, if you're not aware, it's based on a TV show called Firefly. In that show, the characters are humans and Jay has just reimagined them as cats. So if you know the show, you can work out which character's which, but this is River. So River is finished. Quite large. I think of all of them, her face looks the most realistic. I think of all of them, it looks like a photograph. It's quite incredible. I also completed this background between the captain here and River. So I had left that, so that's now all done too. So that's all done. And then I came up, I did a lot on this piece in June. Once I'd finished River, I came back up to the top. Oh, it's so big. And hang on, that's not the right side. Bear with me, sorry. Okay. And I've kind of filled in, I can't quite remember how much, but most of that, I think. And what I'm trying to do now is, this is all background, so I'd like to fill this in, and this is the outline of the next cat's ear. So I want to get that across to there, and then I'll be able to stitch her. So I'm just going to try and reposition this so I can show you the whole thing. I think that's everything, is it? That is 1/3 of the whole piece finished. Oh, okay, come back in. You can see my massive pile of whips there. Okay, where were we? Maybe about there? All right, so that is Firefly. I'm so pleased. I'm not quite sure what my next goal is going to be because from 25% to 33 took forever. So I haven't decided on my next goal. Maybe it's just to complete the background between those two cats at the top. So I can make a start on the next one. I don't know how many stitches that's going to be, but quite a few. It goes pretty quickly though. The background is not heavily confetti on this piece, so there's only a handful of colours, and because I'm doing them in half stitches, they go very quickly, which is nice. Okay, next WIP is Daryl Dixon. This is also a J Parks cat, popular character reimagined as a cat. So Daryl Dixon from The Walking Dead. I'll have a photo of where I was last year. I've stitched on this just for 3 days this year, and I've added 1,214 stitches. It's on 18 count Aida, stitched 2 over 1, and here it is. So the last time I worked on it, I filled in the zombie cats in the background, which is so cute. This one's at 38%, or basically 39%, so over a third of the way there. All right. I hope you're keeping comfortable wherever you are in the world. As you can see, it's a bit cold here today. We're in the middle of winter. I've come home from a week in the tropics to rather cold and crazy winds. I don't know what is going on outside. But yeah, I've got a little lemon tree, like a dwarf lemon tree, and all its leaves have blown off. So I'm just looking at it now. It's just sticks. Hopefully it will recover. And I know it's really hot in other parts of the world, so if you are currently in a heat wave, thinking of you, try and stay cool and you get through it. Okay, my next project is from Hands Across the Sea Samplers, and it's the Old Scot. This is another older project, started in 2019 I think. And so it's a reproduction of an old Scottish sampler. I'll have a photo in of where I was. And this one is on 40 count ivory linen, I think it is. And I'm stitching it with the called for Soie d'Alger silks, 1 over 2. I'll have a photo in of where I was, if I didn't just say that. And here it is. It's not a large one, but the entire border is done. What I've done this year is worked on the alphabet. I've done 5 days, and I'm not 100% counting my stitches on this one. I have a number in here about 1,880, but whether or not that's accurate, I have no idea. But I do like that curly alphabet. And let me just pull out the cover again. Next time I work on it, what I'm doing is there's a 4-sided stitch all the way down the side. I'm going to bring that down to here on both sides, and then I'll do this this band here. That's just very slowly coming along. One day we'll get there. So these projects that I'm showing you now are I think I picked my 5 oldest projects back in, might have been February, to work on, except for Daryl Dixon. I'm not quite sure how he ended up in there. Next one is a Dimensions Gold Petite kit. I started this one can't remember, 2020 I'll say. I'll have dates in my end of year WIP Parade. It'll be a lot more organised. But it's this one. Napping Kitten by Gold Collection Petites. Designed by Debbie Cook. Just a small one, very cute. Now this is the one I don't have a before picture of for some reason. So I know that I had stitched everything above the cat, including the back stitch. And I had started on the branch and the head at the start of the year. I've worked on this a couple of times. I've actually worked on this for 22 days this year so far. I'd worked on it a couple of times earlier in the year, and I've just had a week stitching on it exclusively. And actually this is the piece I took with me. I didn't do any stitching during the week, but I had a fair bit of travel time, stitchy time. So this is the piece I worked on because I had it on a small, like 8 by 8 inch Q-snap, perfect for travel. So let me get it out. This is really exciting. This is a bit of a spoiler for my end of July update, and it's very crumpled. But fresh off the Q-snap this morning. All of the cross stitches are complete. I've been working on this corner to finish it. It's on 18 count Aida. The crosses are 2 over 1. There's some blends in there, and there's a pile of half stitches that are either 2 strands or 3. And interestingly, I was working on this on my last flight yesterday. Time's a bit, ooh. Yeah, my last flight home yesterday, and all you could see was like that. I don't think you could really tell like what that is, especially if you're not a cross stitcher. And the fellow next to me on the plane was commenting on it and asking me all about it, and apparently his daughter had been admiring it, and he wanted to know, you know, how many colours and how many stitches were in it and how many I had to go. So it was quite nice to have a chat. Reggie, he's fine. He's just yeah, he's just a bit chatty today because he's home. Just letting us all know about it. I have done a bit of the back stitch, as you can see. I've done like half of the face. I've got a lot to go. I've also done, there's 4 French nuts. So there's a ladybird and there's a couple of bees that need to be back stitched. There's just loads of back stitch. So it could be a finish by the end of the month, but I'm not sure. I might also need a little break from it. Yeah. So yeah, that's really exciting. So happy to be so close to having something finished. I've got loads of threads left on this one. Not enough to stitch it again, but definitely was not concerned about running out at all. All right, next one. Coastal. This is my oldest project. It's another Gecko Rouge kit, and it's by Rozanne Bell. This year I've worked on 2 different areas. I did a little bit in here, which is confetti central, and then I came back up to the sky as well. So this one's on 25 count, 1 over 1 full cross, and that's where I'm up to. So it's only had 3 days this year, whoops. 2,595 stitches. I'm at 22%. So I did some of this hectic stitching in here. And then for some easy stitching, I came up and worked up here. I don't normally leave such straight page edges. When I first started working on this, I was working on a paper pattern using my highlighter to mark things off, and yeah, I didn't think about possibility of leaving some lines in my work, but I think it's fine. I don't think you'll be able to tell when it's all stitched in. Yeah, slowly. Like all of them, slowly. Okay, next up is my chatelaine. I'm working on the Taj Mahal chatelaine. I'm using black 32 count linen, just using all of the called for everything. Hopefully I've got a photo of where I was at my last WIP Parade. And this year I've worked on it for, I'm not keeping records. So that's right, I decided to be kind to myself and not try and count, just, you know, this one's complicated enough without trying to keep track of things. It's something that I can't get it into Pattern Keeper, which is my go-to normally. So I've just decided, nope, no counting, no tracking, just stitch on it and enjoy it. So yeah, hopefully there's a before photo. And I think I've done a bit this year. Can't actually remember. Whoa. What can I put behind it? Definitely working in the top areas. So really sort of pastel colours. I'm so sorry about Reggie. He's not normally quite this vocal. He's absolutely fine. And then I've come down and I'm just filling in some of the stitching in this centre block too. Yeah, it gets a bit blown out when I show it. I think the contrast between the black and the pastel stitches, but it's absolutely beautiful in person. I need to get back to that. How many times have I already said that? A few times. It always happens during WIP parades. Okay, we must be to May now because I've got some mermaids. So I worked on mermaids for Mermania. Oh, hang on. No, I missed one. Sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself. One more older project, and that is the Cat Sampler by Heartstring Samplery. This one. This is another older project, and I've worked on it 2 days this year, added 1165 stitches, and I've just been working on this never-ending house. It's on 40 count linen. I think it's legacy linen from Picture This Plus. I don't quite remember off the top of my head. Yeah, it's looking really good. Now we'll move on to mermaids. So first up is the Red Mermaid. This is an RTO kit. So pretty. So pretty. So yeah, I worked on this one for Mermania in May this year, and I added 1638 stitches over 4 days. It's on a piece of 32 count linen called Outback Sky. Sorry, it's a bit distracting. It's distracting me, so hopefully it's not bothering you. This is from number 12 Stitch Co. Again, I really like that linen. And I think I was just working on bringing her hair down. Oh, so pretty. If you want to see one that's further along, go and check out Deb Wilson's stitches. I'll put her channel in the description box below. She has done, she's almost finished. Yeah, I just think it's beautiful. Absolutely stunning. Okay, next one is the Tempest. Whoa. I don't think my numbers are right for this one, but anyway, this is the Tempest. This is another Gecko Rouge kit, and this one's by Leilani Joy. And I have found a fabric the same colour as the background, so I'm not stitching the background. So this is 25 count Alaskan Blue Lagana from Witchelt. No, those numbers are definitely not right, because I've got that I'd stitched 1,000 stitches, but no, that's not right. I've done more than that. I have done like all of her eye and eyebrow plus a whole heap of skin here, so that's more than 1,000. But looking really good. I love how nice that eye is turned out, how nicely it turned out. So yes, sorry, I don't have quite the right stats for that one. And if you go, because I've taken out the background, I'm apparently 23% complete, almost a quarter of the way there. Amazing. Okay, next one. I'll just show you because this is cute. Sorry if hopefully it doesn't make you sick. This is what I'm dealing with at the moment. He's very clingy today. Very happy to be home. Next one is Mermaid's Folly by Courtney Collection. Love this one. This is another older piece. And again, I worked on it for Mermania. I worked on this one for 5 days and I added 4,538 stitches. This one's on 40 count linen from Picture This Plus in Murky. And here it is. So I was working on finishing this column of pages and I got it done and I absolutely love it. I'll just turn the page on the notes. I think that's all of my mermaids done. Yes, it is. So now we're moving on to the projects I worked on in June. So I think the rest of my WIPs are all full coverage pieces because I had a bit of a full coverage focus in June. First up is Seaglass. This is by Carolyn Manning. I'll have a photo of the final mock-up and where I was last time. I worked on this for 1 day and added 1,024 stitches. It's on 25 count even weave of some description. And I'm at 18.6%. So all of the next ones got at least 1,000 stitches in June. Some of them have had a bit more over the course of the year. That one's coming along really nicely. Next is Mini Contessa and Squid by Heaven and Earth Designs. You can't get this on their website anymore. The artist is Omar Ryan. You can get his artwork as cross-stitch patterns on Unconventional Cross Stitch though. And that is the artwork. Love her. This is also, oh no, this is 28 count. This is 28 count Lugana, 1/1 full cross. And that's what I've done to date. So this year I worked on it for 2 days, added exactly 1,000 stitches and I'm at 10.5%. So I'll come in, that's where I started the piece. I haven't quite finished her face. And then I work my way up to the top left, which is where I prefer to start, and I've been working in there. It's coming along really nicely. Next one is Warrior Woman by Medusa Doll Maker, yet another Gecko Rouge kit. Isn't she fantastic? Would like to be further along on her. This one got one day 1,004 stitches and I'm at 6.6%. It's also my preferred 25 count 1/1 full cross. So I like 25 count for one strand, and I'm still making friends with 18 count Ada and 2 strands. I do like the look of the fuller stitches on the Ada with 2 strands, but I find I just have to focus a bit more to keep them nice and neat. They can get a little bit crowded. But this is 25 count, and I'm just at that top left at the start. Like I said, 6.6%. So finally getting into a few details rather than the background. Another Gecko Rouge kit. This one is Love by Danny Lizeth. Love this one. I swapped out the fabric, the kit fabric from white to a printed even weave, and I don't have the name on me, but I think it might be Stormy Skies, something like that. I have spent a total of 1 day on this year, sadly. I have put in 1,000 stitches, taking me to 43.4%. Now I showed this on my last update. And I was convinced you could tell it was a cat. Someone kindly pointed out that actually you can't really. And yeah, actually on reflection, I agree. I'm almost halfway done and you still can't tell that I'm stitching a cat, but I'm getting there. So its face is, this is like the smaller of the two. And its face is in here. So there's an ear, so like the profile of its nose, and this is its eye. Surely when I get to 50%, you'll be able to tell. I know that Jo from Blue She Stitches has almost finished this piece, so I'm hoping perhaps we might get a Flosstube update at some point, because I would love to see the finish. Just saying, Jo. Another Gecko Rouge kit, a lot of theirs, and I worked through a lot of them in June. This is Sunny by Leilani Joy. Love how bright it is. This one's on 18 count Ada, 2 strands of Ada, and I worked on this one. This one got 2 days and 1,011 stitches, taking me to 15.5%. All the oranges and yellows. Again, a top left start. So this is the fabric. I actually need to do something to the edges of the fabric because it's fraying a bit. Don't like that. But that is the size. So I think I've made it just over the halfway point at the top there. Okay, I have another full coverage piece, but it's not Gecko Rouge. So I'll have to put a photo up of this next one. It's, oh, not that one, hang on. This one. It is from Unconventional Cross Stitch or X Stitch, and it's called Eucalyptus Flowers. Artwork by Nicolee Payne. I stitched her galah, I can't remember when, the last few years maybe. And I loved it, and I have more of her birds, but this one is a bit different and it's very beautiful, but I haven't done a whole lot. It's on 25 count as well, 1/1. It's got 2 days and 1,016 stitches. So just a small start on that one. That's at 2.18%. The next one is also not Gecko Rouge. This is a Lanart kit and I've cut it up. It's in a box. I cut it to fit into a little bag. It's called King of Animals and I started it on Reggie, who's been making himself known. He's now fast asleep in his little hammock over there, so I think we'll be okay now. I started on his first birthday, which would have been the 8th of February 2021. I got the top half of this into Pattern Keeper before I worked on it this year and made a big difference. So I can't search for symbols, but I can mark them off and I just find that really helpful. So I worked on it for 1 day, 1,017 stitches. It's also 25 count, 1/1 full cross. The kit came with, let me just check. 14 count Ada, but I decided I wanted it to be a bit more petite, so yeah. I'm coming into his eye. Let me just remind myself. His eye is coming in here, so that'll be nice next time I work on it. Hopefully I'll get to his eye. Next one is Go Home by Aruda Art, another Gecko Rouge kit. This is the one I have the least done on. Oh, I haven't written down the percent. Oh well, maybe it's not. Anyway, I don't know. Like I said, just bear with me today. I'm normally a bit more organised. Absolutely love this artwork. Just stunning with that moon and like the urban landscape with the power lines. Man and his dog. Beautiful. This is also 25 count. This is a bigger one. 426 by 280 stitches. Nowhere near Firefly big, but feels like it's a big one. Or maybe it's about the same size as Warrior Woman. That's what I have done. 1,001 stitches this year. Don't have the percentage to hand. Beautiful blues. And I have one last WIP to share and then we'll go on to new starts. So the lucky last WIP is Black Cat by Leilani. And I've finished one of the companion pieces to this one, the Raven. I'm hoping to fully finish this one in the same way, and I also have the unicorn version as well to stitch. So hopefully all three of them one day will be finished together. I've been working my way down and I have omitted those white stitches. I just felt they were a bit blocky. And when I'm done, if I think it needs it, I'll put them in as like backstitch or couching. Yeah, it's very pretty. I love Leilani's artwork. And again, I don't have a percent for this one, but it got 2 days, 1,017 stitches. It looks very strange. It's fluffy. I think I mentioned this last time when I showed it on my June update. It's still a bit fluffy. It looks like a cat in a jar or something at the moment. in a jar with its head popping out. But it's right, I haven't messed anything up. I love those colours. So yeah, that had 1,017 stitches over 2 days. So that is all of my existing works in progress, and now I have a whole pile of things that I have started since my last WIP Parade. So let's get into them. So I've got 15 new starts, but actually I think I'll just call it 16. 16 new starts I've had since my WIP Parade at the end of last year, or early December as it was. Now, quite a few of these, I'm just looking through the list. So on my holiday, if you're new, I went to England, met lovely stitchy friend, or lovely friend, not just stitchy friend, Jo Belushi Stitches, had a brilliant time. We had a lot of common projects in common, and it was just so exciting to actually be there in person. And so a lot of these were started either with Jo or just after I got home. So I'm going to blame it on that holiday. We'll just go with that. Okay, now the first one is in a ridiculously small project bag from my little holiday. I actually need to take it out of this project bag because it's too small and the fabric is too creased. But anyway, this is Lady with a Secret. This is from Christie's Corner, and Christie is charting a series of images from the margins of medieval texts. And there's some really funny, quirky images. Jo and I have already stitched, I think it's 3 already, and this might be the 4th. This has only had a small start. It's on a 40 count linen. It's a number 12 Stitch Co linen, but I don't have the name of it to hand. And I don't have any stats on this one. Only had a small start. Looking very strange, very quirky. And I just saw Christie's latest Flosstube where she mentioned she wants to do the next one in series, so looking forward to seeing what she comes up with. These are obviously not in the right order because this next one I definitely started when I got home. But it was an early, January start. This is a Hare, a Heaven and Earth Designs piece, and it's an Escher piece of art called Plain Filling. I'll have a photo of it. And this one I'm doing differently to all of my others. I'm stitching this one on 25 count Opal Lurex Lugana. Sorry, I had to remind myself of the name. It's Opal, oh hang on, not Opal Lurex, Silver Lurex. 25 count Silver Lurex. So it's got the silver tape through it. This one doesn't have defined straight edges, so I thought it might be nice if I ever get to the point where I can frame it. The fabric that you will see will be a bit sparkly. And I'm doing it 2/1 tent stitch. There's only, I think it's something like 18 colours, so not many colours, and I thought that might work well because it won't be heavily confetti. The issue I have with tent stitch is it can get very thick on the back and hard to get your needle through, especially in areas where there's lots of colour changes. So I thought this one probably wouldn't have that problem. And I've done some parking on this one, which I don't normally do. But I think I just wanted to get this area filled in. So I've started in the top left of the piece. You can't tell what it is yet, but it is quite a gruesome looking creature. I think I mentioned it the last few times I've worked on it. It kind of looks like a flea. It's not a flea though. This one's had 5 days, 2,098 stitches, and I'm at 1.56%. Right, next up, this was started in England. This is a really fun piece. This is an Owl Forest embroidery piece called Fluffy Cats. Love it. And I'm very lucky to also, have the, I won't take them out, but I have the Owl Forest threads for this one, which are just lovely. Stitching this on a piece of, it's a fabric flare, so it's the printed even weave, 28 count silver ash. And let me just work out which way it goes. Oh yeah, I think it goes like that. So I don't have stats. This was just a start at Joe's, like just before I was coming home. I think we both made a start. What's going on out there? So there's my start on the central cat's tail. I've been getting little alerts on my alert app thing about trees having blown over and all sorts going on today. It's very, very windy, so hopefully nothing too serious. My next start. This, oh, I can't remember. I either started this in England or just after I got home. I think it was in England. This is from the Autumn Lane Stitcheries Mermaid box that came out towards the end of last year. Actually, right at the end of last year, because I had the box delivered to Joe's house and I collected it when I was there. This is the Mermaid Merina. And this piece came fully kitted. There were some other patterns in the box, but this one was fully kitted. So it's on 28 count Crystal Splash, I think it's called, from Picture This Plus. And I've worked on it for 6 days and gotten just shy of 2,000 stitches. So it's 2 over 2, and I started right in the middle. I love the colours, absolutely beautiful. And this is a chronic. Yeah, you can see it there, sparkling away. But very nice one. Next one is from Bella Filipina. It was their stitch along last year and into this year. Lost track of time, like I said. I started on this one when I was away. I actually had the fabric, I picked up the fabric when I was in England, and it's from Coffee Craft Fabrics, and she dyed a whole batch exclusively for this project. I have spent 9 days on this one, 3,372 stitches. And the first, that's it. The first installment is the treasure chest, and I've added all the beads and treasures. You can see it shining away there. And I've made a start on the first siren. So smallish start on that one. This is one I started when I got home, but just when I got home. I've only, oh, it's barely a start actually. This is a Luca S kit called London, for obvious reasons. Had a great day out in London. It's on 18 count Ada. Now the Ada is so stiff, it's horrible. It's absolutely horrible. So I would like to wash this before I work on it again. I've only put in, I think it's 65 stitches, yes. 0.12%. I don't even know. I presume it goes this way. I mean, yeah. But I couldn't even get the Q-snap to grip it to make it taut. It just kept slipping because it's so stiff. So I'm going to wash it and hope for the best. Because I really love the image and I'd love to be getting really stuck into this one. Yeah, just need to do something. I know it will soften with time, but it's particularly stiff. Alright, next one I have had as a travel piece, and this is Take Wing by Mojo Stitches. It's all a bit higgledy-piggledy. As I said, it's been a travel piece, so I've picked motifs where I haven't needed to do heaps of counting, and I still managed to make a mistake, but I did fix that up. This is where it's up to. So this is a piece of 32 count even weave on Lemon Butter by Jay's X-Stitch. And I did see a post by Jay recently that she is closing up her shop, which is a shame. She does really lovely dyeing of fabrics with natural dyes. And this is one of them. So it's very random at the moment. There's birds in the middle of all of those motifs pretty much. And yeah, I've just been kind of stitching the easy things to stitch. I think since I last showed it, I worked on this and oh, I don't know why, but I put 2 stitches into the green here. Like I said, it's very random. It's lovely. This is being stitched with the Cold 4 threads. They are mainly cottage garden threads with some DMCs, and I got a kit from Mojo Stitches. So. The next one is my most pitiful start by the look of it. Yep. Of all the starts I have today. This one I bought when I was away. I have enjoyed this theme pieces. Sorry, I can't even speak. And Joe and Emma were starting this one, so I decided to join them. And I think I got this when I was away because there's a pound mark on the price tag. Home of a Needleworker by Little House Needleworks. I think I'm going to change it up a bit though. I think I'm going to leave the alphabet out and just make a few little minor changes. This is on a piece of 40 count linen from Picture This Plus. It's called Tycho, and I have a whole 40 stitches in. It's barely worth showing, but anyway, I will show. So we should get back to that sometime soon. The next one is also one that I bought when I was away. So we came across the coffee series of patterns by Ori TM when we were at Nimble Thimble. And between us we got the 4 patterns. So I have Eternity. And then there's 3 more. I think Emma has stitched decaf, and I don't think Joe's started yet, but would like to stitch all of them in the series, but I need to like actually get onto one first. And this is the one. And I've made a small start on this one, 150 stitches. Oh no, sorry, I lied. This one's had 500 stitches. This is on 40 count linen from XG Designs. It's called Cola, and I think it's beautiful for this this series. So that is my 500 stitches. The blue just really pops on it. It's lovely. Okay. We're almost there. I'm not sure how long this is taking, but that's all right. Next one is one, now what happened? Oh, this is Spooky House by Sandra Parlow. And there was a model stitch of this at the Nimble Thimble, and Joe and I were just like, yes, please. So got the pattern, got all the Krynic. There's like, I can't remember how many spools of Krynic for the moon there are. It's gonna be interesting. Plus some more. And then we both ordered fabric online when I was still there. But I ordered it to be delivered home. And it just went missing in the mail and it never got to me, unfortunately, and it went back to 123 Stitch where I'd ordered it from. And so then they sent out another, oh no, they didn't send out another one, they just sent it out again. And thankfully, second time lucky, made it back to me. And so we started this whenever it was that I received it, quite a long time after we ordered it. It's a piece of, and I'm just looking at it because I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it might be 28 count. It's either 28 or 30 count linen from Picture This Plus, and it's called Mirage. And I have put in 1100 stitches into this one over about 4 days. And there is my start. Needle Minder from Crafty Emily. Love that. And other needle minder from Ginger Stitch AU. That's actually my all-time favourite needle minder. It goes from project to project. So small start on this one, but so far so good. I think from memory there are blends in here, and yeah, that's right, like so many fractional stitches. Unbelievable amount of fractional stitches. But I look forward to carrying on with that one. Next one is the Lola Crow cross stitch mystery stitch along for this year, Extraordinary Birds. I am absolutely loving this piece, loving seeing everyone stitching it up. The latest installment came out yesterday, or like Friday night. So Saturday morning for me, but I was on my way home and then I didn't get home till late last night. I tried to do some stitching when I got home, but I woke up in my stitchy chair. I'm not sure how many hours later. So I just went to bed. So I'm gonna keep this one out because when I have packed up, I'm just looking at the huge mess I've made. But when I've packed all that up, this is gonna be my stitching for the afternoon to do the latest release on this one, because otherwise I'm all up to date. And just remind myself of the fabric. Okay. Oh, I love this. So this is 32 count even weave from Coffee Craft Fabrics, doesn't have a name. And they're just fantastic. Highly recommend these stitch alongs. They're really, really fun. And the amount of detail she gets in quite a small amount of stitches with a little bit of back stitch. It's not onerous. I don't mind back stitch. I know some people struggle with it. This is not hard. Look at him, so ugly and so cool. And then there is a rhinoceros hornbill that is somewhere. I think it's up here, but I could be wrong. I can't remember. I had a quick look at the pattern, but yeah, I haven't put it into Pattern Keeper or anything yet. This one's had 16 days and about almost 12,500 stitches. I think that's right. And I think this current release is not too much. It's not a big one. So hopefully I can get that done maybe tonight if I'm lucky. All All right, got 3 to go, or 4. Don't think I've got the cover sheet with me. I'll pop a photo in of the cover sheet of this next one. It is Mermaid and it's by Leilani Gecko Rouge kit that I started for Mermania this year. I've put in, that's also not right. I don't know how many days I've put into this, but I have done 5,231 stitches. It's at 8.1%. This is on 25 count, again, 1/1 full cross. And I'm stitching this differently. I am color completing. So extreme cross country. I have done 1 color, that dark navy, and I'm on my second color, which is like a maroony sort of. So I've kind of done it all in that banner. I need to come down this side, and I've done a little bit in her hair too. And I love how you can see her coming together. It's amazing. I was a bit scared about extreme cross country. You need to be so confident with your counting. I just triple checked everything. I triple checked against the pattern. I checked like the pattern and you know what stitches were already there. I think I've seen it called landmark stitching. I think Joe called it landmark stitching, which I hadn't heard of, but it's the perfect description. You're cross-checking against other landmarks that you've already placed to make sure the stitching is in the right location, and checking the pattern and checking against where you are in the grids too. So if you're careful, works out really well. I wouldn't do it for something like my Firefly, it's just too big. But for something like this, yeah, I think it's a great, yeah, it's working out really well for me. So that is Mermaid by Leilani. Oh, now there's 3 more. This next one I started recently. I did do a starter kit with me and shared my approach to getting this one underway. If you're interested, have a look. But it's Dingo. Artwork by Natalie Jane Parker, and I think the kit is made by Lutz. Where are they? Lutz. Distributed by Birch Creative in Australia. So I found this at Spotlight. You can get this through Spotlight. And I just loved it because you don't see many dingoes in cross stitch. I'm doing this on all the kit material and threads and everything. It's a 14 count Aida, so I don't do full coverage on 14 count Aida very often, but no problem with it, it's absolutely fine. And this got 3 days and 1,032 stitches, and that's where I got to. So still in the plants at the back, in the background for now. Yeah. Not sure of a percentage or anything, but that's fine. Okay, this is a new start that I haven't shown on Flosstube yet, but I think I've mentioned it. Yeah, I'm sure I've mentioned it. This is the Strawberry Teapot by Living on the Rainbow, Living on a Rainbow, Living on the Rainbow, I can never quite remember. I'm doing this, we're calling it a pot along, stitch along with some friends, hoping to get it to the stage where we can fully finish it in a couple of months, but we'll see. I've made a tiny start on this and I still have threads hanging, hang on. I found a scrap of 18 count Aida from that I think I must have finished something and cut it off. So yeah, it's very narrow. I couldn't get it into a Q-snap, but I had this little nudge hoop. And I made a tiny little start on my teapot. This is the one that has 151 stitches. Apparently it's 3.9%. So that is the front of the teapot. I've changed the colour, so in the pattern it's a pale pink, but I actually have a teapot that blue, so I thought I'd do it the same colour as my teapot. Oh, the sun's just coming out from behind the clouds for the first time today. It's pretty glary now. You're wondering why I'm squinting all of a sudden. That one needs to stay out because I really need to get a move on. And this was the one I wasn't sure if I'd call it a start, but I'll just include it anyway. So the first in my Start a Kit With Me series was this one. This is Hanwell Cottage by Cross My Heart. Very old, from 1993. It was in my auntie's stash. She was de-kitting. She was getting rid of stash and she kindly gave me a whole pile of goodies. So I did film a Start With Me. I haven't done any more since then, and so I wasn't really sure if I should count this as a WIP, but it's here, so I'll just show you. I did a tiny bit. This is what I did on that Start With Me. I spent most of the time on that video sorting through threads and getting myself organised, so it wasn't just the stitching. But that's a nice little compact kit. It fits in a little like pencil case. Yeah, perfect. Okay. That is all of the projects I have worked on since my WIP Parade in December last year. So only 4 finishes. I would love for there to be a few more, and hopefully there will be by the time I get to my end of year WIP Parade, hopefully. I am still intending to have more starts, so if you'd like to see more and you're not yet subscribed, I'd love it if you would subscribe. Thank you so much for watching today. I've had fun going through all of my projects, and I've got some ideas about what direction I might want to go in over the next few months. But watch this space. Let me know if I have enabled you at all, or just I'd be interested to know which of these projects is your favourite to see me stitching on, and maybe that might inspire me to work on it more frequently too. I will be back at the end of July with my regular monthly cross-stitching update. So thank you again for watching, and until next time, happy stitching. See ya.